Hello my friends, it's Ebird Online, and I'm back with part 2 of Jasmine and Gino, 90 Day Fiance Before the 90 Days, Season 6, Episode 14, and this is part 2, so if you haven't seen part 1, click the link in information below, watch part 1, and then come back to this and watch part 2. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed so far, but if you've yet to do so, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, make Ebird a very happy Ebird, and please smash the like button if you enjoy the video. Finally, if you know anyone else who you think would enjoy my videos, please don't forget to share. Thanks guys, so without further ado, I give you Jasmine and Gino. So the couple are on holiday in Western Panama and they decide to get dressed and go out and go horseback riding. Gino's never been riding before, which doesn't surprise me. And when he finally mounts and they go off with the guide, he said, "I hope Jasmine sees me in a new light. Masterful and strong on my horse, and I hope it turns her on. Gino, we've already ascertained now, all it takes for Jasmine to be turned on is a little bit of piss. And the average woman urinates 6 to 8 times a day, so, well, I guess you won't be wanting for opportunity." Guys, they're just so rank. Anyway, a little bit later on, they take some pictures to send back to Gino's family. And at the mention of Gino's family, Jasmine started foaming at the mouth, and she said, "I'd like to speak to your cousin." And Gino said, "Well, okay then." And she said, "But just be warned, if your cousin says one thing, just one thing, that irritates me, I will not be responsible for my actions." And so the following day, they get ready for the video call with Gino's cousin Dana. And Jasmine reminds production once more that if anything, just one tiny thing happens, she's going to react. And so the couple FaceTime Dana. And he basically backpedals and pussy pops on what he said. He just pretty much said, "Well, you like a lot of expensive things, hair treatments and facial treatments, and I don't know if it's right for my cousin." And she said more or less, "It's nothing to do with you." And then he said, "No, you're right, it's not. You two do what you want. Bye." And then Jasmine said that she felt as if the apology wasn't sincere. I didn't hear him apologise. I don't know what you heard, but yeah, I just heard him dialing back and thinking to himself, "Do you know what, Gino? I was looking out for you, but I can see that you're a number one chump. You go and let her rinse out your 401k and don't come crying to me afterwards." That's what I heard, but that's just me. So after the awkward phone call, the couple decide to take a few more selfies, one in front of the waterfall. I can't help but think that production are giving us a bit of, I don't know, iconography here. Is that the right word? You know what I mean. And then Gino tells us that he has something he wants to discuss with Jasmine.
There's been times like you were saying a lot of not so nice things about my family and stuff, that my family should be less involved in my life.
Yes, but I'm sorry, I'm working on that.
And then Jasmine bursts into tears and she starts saying, "But what will you do if your family hate me? Gino, what would you do?" And he said, "Well, I'd try to talk to them, I'd try to mediate." And she said, "Well, so you wouldn't support me then?" And then she said, "I'm scared of losing you because I think that your family won't like me." Of course you do, Jasmine. Of course you do. Why is that? Because nobody likes you. Have you met anybody that likes you yet? I'm yet to see them. I'm not even sure about Gino. And then this uber sartorially challenged couple had one of the realest chats they've ever had.
No, my family doesn't hate
I'm
me.
not scared, like, they're gonna hate me because I know myself. I'm so unstable emotionally, like, I'm so rude. I cannot manage my stupid anxiety.
Wow, so Jasmine really does know herself. But then Gino asked if she could try to control her emotions, and she said she was really going to work on it, and the couple embraced. Guys, suddenly they're adulting. This is weird new territory. I don't think I like Gino as a fully fledged adult. I think I just like the man-child Gino. That's the one we all know, and, well, yeah, the one we all know. And so the next time we see this mismatched couple, they're trimming the hairs from each other's nostrils. What? Oh my god, they truly are disgusting. In fact, I preferred it when Jasmine was pissing on Gino. And so the couple decide to go for a walk, and as they're strolling along the promenade, Gino brings up the subject of children. And he asked Jasmine when she thinks she'll be ready for a child. And then Jasmine said, "Well, I already have 2 children, and having kids is really, really hard." And in a roundabout way, she was kind of telling Gino, "I don't know if we're really going to have kids."
If I don't want a baby, like 100% sure, at this moment, at this right moment today, I tell you, I don't want to have a baby. Will you stay with me and still marry me and be with me and be happy? Will you?
I told you I want a child.
So guys, we always knew that Jasmine was very selfish, but this takes the biscuit. She's known all along that Gino wants a child, and so she's waited right until the 23rd hour to drop the bomb that, well, she's not that interested in having kids, and in fact, she definitely doesn't want to have them. She finishes up by saying, well, I know that Gino wants a child of his own, but I just don't ever foresee me having a child with Gino. But Gino finishes the same segment by saying, I just hope that Jasmine changes her mind as soon as she gets to the States. Gino, she won't. There's no mind to change. She already knew she didn't want kids. And she never will. And as we know at the moment, Jasmine lives independently from both of her kids. So it would be kind of weird for her to move to America and have a baby with somebody else. I'm sure that must be weighing on her mind. So after dropping that bombshell, Jasmine decided to do a sneaky one too. So the couple went back to the room and she was giving Gino a face mask. And she said, Gino, you always go and leave me. I love you so much. I want us to find a way to be together permanently. And Gino explained, like we all know, that he has to be working in order to put through the K1 visa. Otherwise it's invalid. And she said, but I want to be with my king. I want to be with you. Oh well, I guess if I can't be with you, the next best thing is you paying for my $3,000 a month apartment permanently, not just for the month that I stated. Guys, she's nothing if not transparent. And so of course Gino said, there's no way I'm paying for that. I think we can find an apartment for $1.5 or $2,000 a month. And she said, no.
Gino have had so many opportunities to show me that I am his priority, Like, hire an immigration lawyer for our K1 visa, pay for this apartment so I can stay here while I work for the K1 visa. But he won't do any of that. And I'm sick of it.
Now guys, as you all know, every single week, somebody or other pops into my comments and says, such and such, they're a gold digger. And I quite often have to say things like, copper at best. There has to be gold to dig for gold. Or it could be that there's a fair exchange, i.e. gold digging for looks or a younger girl, whatever it might be. With this relationship right here, this is what I call a gold digger. And I'm going to break down the reasons why. Firstly, Jasmine doesn't ever uphold her end of the bargain. Part of her end of the bargain is to have kids with Gino. She's now not doing that. Also, she refuses to behave normally within the relationship. She screams and shouts and has massive tantrums, which in this episode she has actually admitted. And she doesn't behave well when she doesn't get her own way. But right here, this is trickery because she said, well, I just want to stay in this apartment for 1 month. She didn't tell Gino that her ex-boyfriend was there. But now she thinks it's reasonable for her to stay in that apartment until the visa comes through. And guys, who knows when that's going to come through? As everybody knows, visa timings are, well, how long's a piece of string? So I will actually say I do believe in this instance she's rinsing Gino for all he's got. And then guys, she goes on to reference his ex-girlfriends. You took one to Legoland, you took one to Europe, you used to pay for sugar babies, so I know you can afford it, and therefore that's why I want it. But guys, it's ridiculous. She knows that Gino is a, well, frugal kind of guy, and she knows she's pushing him to his limit, but she literally doesn't care. But then guys, oh my god, Jasmine, because she couldn't get her own way, had an absolute meltdown. Temper tantrums, god, times 10.
You 100 times no! You pay for all those bitches, and all I ask is for a month of friendship. Where's the mother want you to die?
It's more than
I don't want you here! Get out of my house!
Oh my lord, but then we get a gem from producers. We get one for the ages. We get a little callback moment as Jasmine finishes off the whole segment by throwing out an electric toothbrush. Guys, it took me a moment to register, but when I did, I thought, oh, mwah, chef's kiss. That was beautiful. Very, very funny. So in the next segment, we have, frankly, one of the most laughable performances I've ever seen from Jasmine. She's sitting on the sofa and she's snivelling and crying and she's saying, Gino, you never ever support me financially. You treat me so mean. When I come to America, I'm going to be all on my own. And if I'm going to be all on my own and you're not going to help me, how can I even trust you? And all of this because he won't pay $3,000 American for her to live in the lap of luxury in Panama. She snivels on, but Gino's fairly resolute. Well done, Gino, for once. He doesn't want to pay for this apartment. Anyway, the couple decide to talk to producers, and this exchange occurs.
More important than his family or anyone.
Well, I would say it's a tie for my family and Jasmine.
Are you serious?
She's tied with my family.
No, I don't want to be tied with anyone.
I started thinking about this and I thought, Gino's in between a rock and a hard place because obviously this is televised. So even if Jasmine were the most important person in his life, he couldn't ever say so. Why? Because his family would be busy listening. It was basically a question whichever way he answered would have created problems for Gino. But also, Jasmine, what kind of normal person asks that question? I can tell you what sort of person. A Panamanian prima donna, that's who. But guys, what happened next was quite unbelievable. They sat there in front of production saying, fuck you, no fuck you. And Gino said, you don't think my family's important? Have you got anything in your effing head? And she said, I should be the most important person in your life, Gino. And it went back and forth. And then they both got up. And this seems somewhat unscripted because all of the booms and the lights and so on were visible in the background.
I'm gonna go and my ex
Right
that
there, bitch.
knows how to me. He's the
Yeah,
best
yourself.
man that I have ever had, and I'm going back to him.
Yeah, go back.
He is the most important
back
person
to
in
him,
my
like,
life.
I don't need you.
He is the most important person
Yeah,
in my
yourself. Go to hell.
Oh my god, guys, she's alleging that she's been sleeping with Dane. Let's survey the facts, shall we? Gino, Dane, Gino, Dane, Gino, Dane. Computer says Dane gets it. Guys, I called it all along. As soon as she said, I'm moving into your building. The moment I clapped eyes on Dane, I thought, well, that's the end of Gino. And so Jasmine then alleges, you want to see a video of us sleeping together? I've got it, I've got it. And guys, I believe she has. I genuinely do. I'd love for somebody to break into her cloud and confirm it one way or the other. Anyway, for good measure, Gino calls her a psycho and a whore. True. And Jasmine runs dramatically out into the street. And Jasmine very theatrically said, that's it. But it's not, is it, guys? It never bloody is. And then Gino goes out to try and find her. As he's walking towards Jasmine, he said she often gets upset and she says things that are not true and that she doesn't mean. And that's what I hope it is in this case. What? Gino, even if she hasn't slept with Dane, the fact that she's found fit to put it in your head as a little worm there, as a little discombobulating factor when you're back in America paying for her to live next door to the guy, the fact that she could do that means she's no good. How many times do you need to be told? Guys, Gino makes it really impossible to feel sorry for him. He's an idiot, a sop and a simp for this girl, and I just wish he'd grow a pair of bollocks. She is not the only fit girl in Panama. Go and find another one. Guys, I'm not a fan of Gino by any stretch of the imagination, but nobody deserves to be treated like this, to be spoken to in this manner, in front of everybody. She's literally shameless. So the couple talk, and Jasmine said that she was lying about sleeping with Dane, but however, she's telling the truth about the fact that they're over because Gino will never love her more than he loves his family. And that's what she needs for a relationship to work for her. And she said, pack up your things and go. And then she said, walk away, Gino, walk away. And Gino got up and walked away. I was surprised, guys, that he didn't ask for his ring back, but then I guess it was only worth $20 after all. And that's where we leave this awful couple for this week. Guys, it's been a marathon. But do let me know what you think's going to happen with this relationship. Do you think that Jasmine has been sleeping with Dane? Guys, I really do. I thought it the moment I saw them together, and I still think it now. The only reason she's hanging on to Gino, I believe, is so that she can promote her OnlyFans via the TV. So she still needs Gino on hand, so she can do her promotion and make her money. Also, another thing, I'm beginning to feel slightly sorry for Gino. I think he's in a toxic and coercive relationship, I really do. I think she manipulates him at all times, and I just don't think she's any good for him. In fact, they're no good for each other. But yes, I'd love to know what you think. Please put your comments down below and I'll get on with my next video. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. And I'll see you very soon. You've been listening to Ebird Online and I bid you good day.